let's talk about the motivation and the motive to commit fraud. So the question we asked here was, if you know someone that's committed insurance fraud, how did it make you feel? 13.3% came back saying they would be motivated or envious of individuals committing fraud. What's even more shocking here is when we break it down by age group, you can see that 44 and under were all over 20% either motivated or envious. So Tom, do you want to dive into that and maybe we'll talk about the psychology here?
Sure. Again, the disparity between the numbers, 18 to 44 age bracket, 24% are motivated to commit insurance fraud, where as 45 and over age bracket is only 3.3%. Going back to the numbers with the population of 18 to 44, that 24% equates to 29 million people. So, 29 million people are motivated to commit insurance fraud. So just think of that number as we're investigating claims or handling claims every day. 29 million people are interested in or motivated to commit insurance fraud.
Wow, that's such a huge number. We have one more poll question. You want to pull up here? So
well, let's talk a little bit, Jeff, before the poll question on why we think people are motivated to commit fraud. And some of the things that I wrote down, and just from my experience over the years, is, number one, people feel that they're not going to get caught. They're not going to get caught committing insurance fraud. They feel like insurance companies aren't looking, that they're not investigating claims, so they feel like they're not going to get caught. Secondly, if they do get caught, they don't feel like there's any consequences. They're not going to be punished, and that's absolutely not true, but that's the perception. And just to give some background, in Pennsylvania, when I was there, Pennsylvania averaged 450 arrests per year, strictly on insurance fraud. And that came out of 4,000 referrals. Every year, the average was 4,000 referrals to fraud fighters in Pennsylvania. The other thing I wanted to say, too, is that, many people feel that since they pay premiums, they're entitled to whatever they can get from an insurance company. So if you have a flood loss in your basement, you might start claiming things that aren't covered just because you feel, I can't afford a deductible. I'm going to start adding more items to my list. So that's one thing. And then I also recently, I read the Wall Street Journal poll on American values, and it was released, it was either March or May of this year. And what the poll showed was that American values have decreased 35% since 1998. At the same time, the importance of money to people rose 12%. So I think that's also a motivating factor of why people, are committed to insurance fraud. The other thing as well is that, currently, we just came out of COVID, there's a recession, and whenever there's, bad times, bad financial times, a lot of people have financial burdens, so that's when fraud is going to increase. And at the time of the study, that's when that was some of the period we were going through. So that also could be why people are motivated to commit
a lot of economic
fraud.
uncertainty at that point in time. Yes.
Yep.